What's up? What's up? Welcome back to The Assist. My name is Dylan, aka your host, aka the guy that's going to carry you along on this journey as we vibe out today. We got a fire show. I called him the father Abraham of the Pelicans content creating space, but I can't wait to bring him on the stage. But before I do that, I gotta shout out the team. The Assist is a part of the No Network where we are bringing you closer to all things happening within the Gulf Coast. If you a Tulane Roll Wave fan, welcome home. If you a LSU Tiger fan, hold that Tiger, you at the right space, you dig? Whatever sport you rocking with, are you a gold fan and you into the rugby situation, whatever it is, this is your one-stop shop for it all. So congratulations, you're now rocking with the best. Hey, you're now rocking with the best. Hey, so happy to have you guys. Like I said, we got a great episode ahead. But before we jump in, I need to introduce. He's not really a guest. I mean, you can't really be a guest when you at his level in this thing. Like when you walk into the show, he's like the Beyonce of this whole situation. None other than Boot Crew Media on In Space podcast on. The list goes on and on. Make some love in the chat. I'm going old school Steve Harvey. Show your love for none other than my brother, Chris Connor. What up, bro?
What's good, man? Happy to be here, dog.
Man, it's a blessing to have you. We've been trying to make this happen for a minute, man. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Chris almost didn't show up. He almost was treating me like he was Hove in the '90s. Like he was about to be like, "Listen, you played yourself." So we caught up on the time. We good, and we outside, and we so happy to have you, man. How's everything going on your end, man?
Everything good, but hold on, I ain't gonna let him just lie like that, y'all. We had something scheduled last week. Okay, we had a time. No, sorry, rewind. Before that, we had another time.
Yeah,
Dylan had a meeting.
yeah,
Cool. We rescheduled for like 2 days later.
yeah,
2 days later, certain time.
yeah.
Time pop up. No Dylan. He pop up and say, "Oh man, no, I'm sorry." He hit me like an hour, 30 minutes
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Chicago was Eastern time. Why that's
100%.
my fault?
100%. Let's talk about this for a second before we dive into Pelican's situation. Whoever broke up these time zones, you needed to get a new set of glasses, my good sir or man, because how you got Gary, Indiana in the eastern, and then you got Chicago in the. I don't know. Understand? I don't understand. So listen, it was on me, but we're gonna move forward. We're gonna keep this going because listen, I ain't gonna let Chris come in the show and bully me like this. Bro, let's get into it. As far as the Pelicans go this upcoming season, man, what are you feeling? What's your thoughts on the team? What's the vibe you getting? What are you feeling as we step into the season, bro?
Man, it's similar in some ways to previous years, to where it's a lot of question marks, a lot of things that need to be answered. But then there's optimism, at least from my perspective. Um, but it's only like I feel like my brain is either forcing myself to think a certain way, or it's actually gonna manifest itself. And I'm not talking about just like DeJounte Murray, so on and so forth. I just look at certain parts of the team and the talent that's there, and I see a path to them surpassing the either average or below average expectations that some have. You can talk to how motivated and how in shape and ready Zion is. You can talk about some of the things behind the scenes. You can talk about DeJounte Murray and Herb and Trey, and just the people that have bought in, even with the question marks in regards to Zion and whatever other critical things. And I got a list of them that I could throw in regards to the team center position. It's something, man, that makes me feel like when I think about the basketball element of it, I really feel like this team isn't that far away from having elite regular season success. I
Yeah.
don't know if it will happen. I don't know if it will step in their way, but I don't know, man. Like while I could see it going, I could see it going either way. I really feel like while they have some flaws, some large flaws, and some things that they will have to address. They will look, um, they will have nights where they don't look like they deserve to be on the floor with certain teams. I really think this is a group that can find themselves at the end of the regular season looking at 55,
Ooh.
52, 53 wins. I do, and I don't say that lightly. I really believe that.
See, did
I really
y'all
believe that.
y'all just so we done had a lot of people on here. I've heard 45 to 50. You jumped over the pendulum. You said
I do.
55.
I do.
What's
I do.
got you? I know you said you kind of alluded to what you're feeling, but you really didn't dissect why you feel so confident that 55 is where we going. Talk me into believing like you believe that 55 is on the way.
So look, health pending, right?
Yeah.
But
Time
it's
out right
always
there. Time out right. I'm believing that these pictures we seeing, bro,
yeah,
we gonna be healthy this year. Keep going. I just had to get that out.
health health pending. But look, man, I look at it like Zion. Zion has a lot of positive momentum heading into the season. He had a lot of
Yeah.
positive momentum ending last season.
Yeah.
Had a pit stop, with the hamstring at the end of the year that kind of soured his expectations. But this is a dude that played 70 games, 70 almost 71 games. Injury wise, I think he only missed 5 games for injury purposes. I think the other half were rest or back to backs, or three and fourth nights were team regulated misses. So we were talking about a dude that wasn't even in the best shape of his career heading into the season, and we know as the season progressed, and you got 70 games out of that. It doesn't mean he has to play 70 games this year. And I know the questions about Brandon, and I know that everyone wants to know who's going to play center. Ironically, man, one of the reasons I'm actually so high on the team is because I I don't I think if this team decides to go small with what they have for certain periods until like they eventually address the center position with another household name, or whoever they choose to bring in down the line, I think they have some advantages. Small ball. I think their their talent is going to be overwhelming. I think when you have two guys that are going to be coming off your bench, and whatever combination it is, if it's CJ, if it's Herb Jones, if it's Trey and Herb, Trey and CJ, whoever those two guys are, you look up and down rosters, man.
Elite.
That's going to be a problem. And this
Yeah.
in this game and regular season basketball, you put them in a series as they currently constructed. There are teams that I don't think they stand a chance against. But in a regular season, when it's about depth, it's about health, it's about energy, and you got 7 guys that we know of right now that can all go out there and have established NBA portfolios, 6 guys that can get you 20 a night, maybe. Off the top of my head, it may be 5, but it's 5 to 6 guys that can get you that. And there's always some unknown individuals that pop up. Outside of that, you got the established Jose Alvarado's entering his what is it, 4th year now.
Yeah.
You have somebody between Carlo, JRE. I don't think it's gonna be Missy, but you never know. I Those that know me know Trey Jemison is not on my high list of candidates, but somebody's gonna surprise out
You
of that
don't
group
like
and give
preacher
you
then,
10.
bro? What you got
No,
against
no, no,
preacher?
no, no, no. It's funny. His mom, I think his mom or his auntie followed me. Shout out to
Oh,
them, but they must not be watching. But man, I'm telling you, I think that they are going to be dynamic if they lean into what the strength of this roster is. And when Zion is right, if you get 60 games out of them, he's gonna find a way just with what he is alone. Even if you
yeah.
strip away some of the talent, what he is alone, that's 40 walking wins.
Yeah.
It just is. You add in some of the other talent, you add in a Brandon Ingram trying to, playing for his NBA future of sorts. The other professionals, Trey Murphy contract on the line, Herb being Herb, DeJounte motivated and something to prove. I think a staff that has some things to prove. I really think that they're going to surprise some folks. And just with how regular seasons go, they got a chance to win a lot of basketball games.
I agree with that. Honestly, I'm a optimistic individual, so 55 excites me, but at the same token, the little logic me is like, but I'm listen, whatever you with, I send me whatever that is. Send me whatever that is. You talked a little bit about Brandon Ingram, and I want to give you kind of a I'm going to give you a thought, and I want you to fight for that thought. So
Yep,
it's like a debate, not debate situation.
I got you.
So there's three individuals. I'm gonna give you three sets of stats. One of those individuals averaged 21, 7, and 4 with 38% from three last year. The other averaged 14, 4, and 1 with 39% from three last year. Then there's another one that averaged 25, 5 from 35% from three. You need me to say them again or you got it? So the first
Maybe.
guy, player A, 21, 7, 4, 38. Player
Yep.
B, 14, 4, 1, 39. Player
Mhm.
C, 25, 5, 35. Which one of
Okay.
those guys you want on your team?
For this team,
Hey, yes, for this team.
or just period.
For this team. This team.
Um, I gotta say the Brandon Ingram. I mean, it's player A. It's Bi.
Oh, player A wasn't BI.
That wasn't Bi. Oh, okay. Who was
Player
that?
A was Pascal Siakam, 21,
Yeah,
7, and 4, 38%. So you
that's the
just
guy.
answered the question already without me saying it. So I gotta, I gotta report this thing and shift on the fly. So with you choosing Pascal Siakam as your guy for this team, why do you think Brandon Ingram still deserves to be paid?
Um, because I have to argue
Yep,
this.
yep, you got to.
Brandon has to be paid because Pascal, that stat line you just gave me, is someone who just got the money, or similar to the money that Brandon is searching for.
Mhm.
Um, and Brandon's numbers, those numbers that were kind of oddly similar to Pascal's. Brandon's numbers at the end of last year were very similar, which is why I thought it was him.
Right.
That was Brandon on a down year. Now, this isn't 100% what I believe, but I'm
No,
I'm
you
giving
got
the
no. You
argument right.
can't say
I'm
what
playing the
kind of
game.
lawyer is you, brother. What
I'm
kind of
playing the game.
remind
I'm
me what
playing
to
the
call
game.
you if I get in the jam, brother?
I'm playing the
It's
game.
not what I
But
believe. He
but
killed
but
the man personally if it
but
was me,
but
but I need my bread. I need my
but
bread.
but for the sake of the game, um, if Brandon can give you what Pascal gave you on a down year, and everything about sports is the market,
Mm.
he has to get paid. Similar years, similar they're in similar age groups. You could you could argue overall that Brandon's he's a better player than Pascal. I would say
He fight for his life, y'all. He
yeah,
fight
yeah,
for his life.
yeah. I would say there's no way in a league and in a system that is all based on the last person that just got paid and the circumstances around them, and we're comparing one against the other, you got to pay Brandon. And if you don't, you got to pay him somewhere close. How can you pay
Mm,
Pascal, not him?
mm. So that's a great thought. So let me give you kind of another a question on top of that. You said how can you play Pascal and not Brandon? Does the fact that Pascal has championship pedigree does that play into why he's paid and why Brandon Ingram isn't, or should we just push that out the door?
Maybe, but that situation was totally different. You because you would have to say, Pascal that particular year had, like, correct me if I'm wrong, the championship in which they won. Kawhi was on that team.
Yeah,
You got you got Fred VanVleet.
yeah.
You got these are
OG.
these are all guys, right. You got one Hall of Famer in Kawhi who played out of his mind for that series. I'm not gonna get into the specifics of who they played and such and such, but we just talk about the roster.
Yeah.
At the time, Nick Nurse was considered one of the best basketball coaches in the land.
Yeah.
Their ability to develop, period, Toronto, um, It's still, in my opinion, one of the best. But strictly, if we're staying on topic in regards to championship, we're talking about Pascal being a third option there. I think OG Anunoby was on that team as well. We're
He
talking about
was.
Pascal being a third option. That's not the guy that got paid. The guy that got paid was the dude that eventually was put in situations of seeing, can you be a second option? Can you be a number one option? That was they may have said, we think you can turn into this championship guy because we've seen you do it, but that's not what Pascal is anymore. He would have to turn back into it and lower his volume down a little bit versus the player that we've seen over the past few years has gotten more opportunity, more we've seen him more as an individual. We've seen him kind of be more of an ISO scorer, more of a carrier than the dude that was in a lot of ways a high-end glue guy who could be a lifter and could surprise you what can give you 20 plus. But we're no longer putting our third best player on Pascal Siakam.
Mhm.
We're putting our one of our better wing defenders on Pascal now. We're putting, he's a second option now. It's a little different.
I still respect that. That's a good point. So, my second question or my follow up question to you is why do you think, because you think this for some reason, why do you think this Brandon Ingram situation is the most important situation going into the season that the Pelicans just have to get figured out right away?
Because the Pelicans are presenting a picture that's, I guess, describes a team or a situation um, that should bring contenders. When you go out and you trade for DeJounte Murray and you already have CJ McCollum, you already have Zion Williamson, you already have Brandon Ingram, you already have Trey Murphy, you have all of these talents. And that's just part of the group. You got a first round pick that you just brought in and missing. You got your first round pick from last year and Jordan Hawkins, your guy. You
We on the way, baby. Keep going
yeah,
though.
yeah. You just won 49 wins, right? I mean, well, yeah, 49
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
The year before, you won 44 or something like that, but Zion missed 50 plus games.
Right.
And you're saying to yourselves, once again, if Zion did not get hurt, we're maybe not even playing Oklahoma City. If we win one more game or two more games, we're maybe not in the play-in at all. That's always a what if. The hypotheticals are there. But you are painting me a situation and a team that is ready to contend in a Western Conference that you could say is up for the taking. There's a lot of competitive teams there, and we know how this works. Teams that we think are going to be great, some may fall down a little bit, some may get hurt, injuries come into play. What do the Pelicans have, as we mentioned in the beginning of the year, that a lot of these other teams don't have? They have, even if you don't think they have a bunch of, all the guys may not be stars, all the guys may not be superstars, but when we're talking about their talent floor, player for player, is one of the highest in the conference. And regular season basketball is simply about attrition. It's a war of attrition. It's survival. It's getting those back to backs, getting tired teams, beating those rest teams. If the Pelicans are healthy and they got this roster, and they say, okay, we're gonna treat this as a rest game. They still might have 3 to 4 really talented players that are going to be out there on the floor that are established and know what it's like to have the attention of being number one options for a night, number two options. It's not going to be foreign to them. Every team can't say that. Will it mesh? That's goes back to answering your question, because one of the key parts of this, it has to mesh, right? It has to all fit in together. It has to all complement one another. They have to put all of this together. They got to build the chemistry, fitting in another guy, another dominant personality, another individual that's used to having a basketball in his hands, DeJounte Murray, and build off of what they were trying to accomplish last year. So that means personal agendas, egos, contract situations. Hello, Trey Murphy. They gotta fit in the back seat.
Yeah.
You looking at Brandon, because Brandon's the guy that people consider as, even if he you can make the call on your own if you think he's a leader. But I know he's one of the people that if you go up and down the list, if you ask everybody on that roster,
They look
you will
to.
get a few answers and say he's the guy we look to. He may not be the vocal guy we look to, but he's the guy that I watch. He's the guy who's been helping me along the way. So if you're that guy and you have something that's very important in front of you, but team, what the organization is paying, and the organization is saying this team has a chance to compete and contend. This team has a chance to possibly get into a Western Conference Finals. We'll worry about, you know, painting the edges, center position. We'll
Yeah.
worry about figuring out some of the other parts on the bench later on. But right now, this is where the team's at.
Yeah.
They got to figure out the branding part, because if that gets complicated and that gets messy, then now you're worrying about distractions that interrupt what the organization is trying to paint.
Yeah.
If you can figure that out, and if Brandon is able to put the contract stuff to the side, which ain't for everybody, which I can't tell nobody how to feel about their money. I know how I feel about mine. I can't tell nobody how to feel about their security. I know how I feel about mine. But at some point, they're gonna be asking. Everybody's gonna be asking, are you all in or not? You got to figure that out, because not only is that element part and important, not only is the team chemistry element, not only do you want to get off to a fast start and do you want to make something great out of this season and let tomorrow be tomorrow,
Yeah.
no matter what, how anyone feels about Brandon, if this team is great, if this team, whatever their ceiling is, if they reach it, he has to be an important part of it if he's on the roster. He
Yeah.
has to be.
Yeah. Golly. I'm you preaching, brother. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. I was of the mindset once I saw that post, because we gotta remember Brandon Ingram don't even be on social media like that unless it's to promote Najee, Jose, or his clothing brand. He
Yeah.
don't even post his own child that much on social media. So for him to go
Uh,
out of his way to say something like you got to get away from places you ain't wanted, I'm speaking loosely on it. That to me just tells me a lot of what type of time he's on, because that's either his agent trying to send a message through him, or that's him trying to send a message. And that's the tough part for me, Chris, is I don't understand. I don't know, because Bi is such a chill dude, and he's a all glory to God. You know, he's that dude. And before he leaves the arena signing autographs, and he's always just. He reminds me, and I told somebody else this. He's got the demeanor of like Vince Carter. Like Vince was always that dude, always. And I mean, we can debate his latter years, but I like to think those is like they didn't really happen. Like the
mhm,
mid Atlanta
mhm.
years, I was like,
Yeah.
all right, that ain't Air Canada. That's like that's bus station Canada. That's not the one I know. And so because of that, Vince, wherever he was, he ingratiated himself with the people, with the team, and with the organization. He always was the perfect pro. Even so much so that the biggest gripe I think we got from Vince was when he skipped a practice or a walkthrough or something to go to his college graduation. That's
Yeah.
who Vince is. Now, mind you, Brandon Ingram is not the college guy, but Brandon gives you that same aura. Like he's just a star level player. Some may say superstar. I might not say it, but that's their prerogative. He's a star level player that stays out of the way. So that's what's got me up in arms when I see the guy that's a star level player stays out of the way, posting stuff all of a sudden, not showing up to the players organized and officiated and carried out training camp in Cali, where you spend the majority of your time. That's the part to me that's a little nerve wracking, because I'm like, dude, you probably already in Cali in LA. So you could have just went down the way and played pickup ball, because that's all they doing, playing pickup ball, breaking bread, and lifting. That's really all they doing. And so for me, for my 2 cents on that conversation, I'm gonna put a bow on this Brandon Ingram conversation for this episode, because he's been talked about a lot. There's so much more going on with this team. But for my 2 cents, I think to bring Brandon Ingram to begin the season, I think it's borderline malpractice. But I
Mm.
understand it. I think it's borderline malpractice because you're playing Cowboys and Indians with a loaded gun. Like this ain't no fake gun. This could really hurt something if you shoot the right way. So I think that's malpractice because you don't know what Brandon
Well,
is going to
look,
bring.
look, and I I agree with you on that part. It is a gamble. Um, you don't like this franchise can't afford another wasted season. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
They can't afford another season in there to well, if they would have, maybe if this would have happened or that would have happened, or no, they need to know. You
Yes.
know, like no pun intended. They need to know. So I think that with Brandon, look, it's like this. The only thing I think that's different is that his basketball DNA is being questioned, not just by the Pelicans, it's being questioned around the league. The way he ended last season is being questioned around the league. This new CBA is also being something that's being having him questioned around the league. His play style and his next whatever his next step in regards to evolving and changing and fitting in, it's having him questioned around the league. FIBA, so on and so forth. All these things have people questioning him. So it's not like because if that wasn't the case, I tell you right now, Dylan, he would have been traded.
Yes.
Someone, it's not just about the Pelicans saying we need this guy. Because we'll have you, but at our number.
Right. Right.
At our number.
Right.
But it's also we got to find the right partner, and then we got to find a partner that's gonna pay him.
Mm.
That's a lot. That's the biggest thing about this offseason to me in regards to Brandon. It's a wake-up call, I think, to him. And I would hope it's a wake-up call. It should be treated as a poster for him to put on his wall. It's a reality check. It's what was 2 years ago, what was a year ago, what was 3 years ago. It's not today and it's not tomorrow. So, yes, it could be a disaster. Or you could be looking at a guy to even if he's frustrated, if he's passive aggressive, because this is the same guy, Dylan, that was sitting on the bench in the play-in game when the team was
Out.
playing their best basketball.
Out.
Unfortunately, with him off the floor, tying the game, coming back in the game, taking the lead, so on and so forth. Upset,
Yep.
upset. So this could be the same emotions that bring that could be the emotions that bring this today. I thought that I completely thought, and I'm with you that they should have traded him.
Yeah.
And I wish that I think, but that's a whole different show. But at the end of the day, it looks like he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
He has to. I'm going through the same realization. I think he has to realize at some point. Media day is Monday. The season's around the corner. Preseason's around the corner. Now it's time to figure out how to get the best out of this roster. He has to figure out now that regardless what was said about him before, regardless what he did before, regardless what feelings were hurt in reference to what he felt like he was worth, and if he felt disrespected, now it's time to show. Now it's time to adapt. Now it's time to show the better and the best version of Brandon Ingram and help do something that people question if you can do.
Yep.
Be a vital piece on a winning and contending team. And then I guarantee you, Dylan, he won't have a problem getting the money he deserves or wants.
Facts.
He won't
Facts.
have
I
a
think
single
that
issue.
I agree with that. I think it's a little bit of that Chris Middleton situation, right? Milwaukee waited to pay Chris Middleton to see what was the mountaintop looking like with Chris Middleton and Giannis, and they saw it, and they're like, "All right, you're worth investing in." One more quick question with a quick response so we can move forward. But do you think his next big contract is in New Orleans?
I don't.
Okay, that's
I
it.
don't.
Simple there. Let's move forward. So you talked a little bit about Trey Murphy, and you were saying something in your soliloquies that was throwing me off a little bit. You was because this is Trey Murphy's rookie extension, and from what I'm gathering, and you can correct me. What I'm gathering, you were kind of like, nah, Trey, you got to play for like this season. You better come out on time. Like this, none of that. Nah, you got to show us that you worked this rookie extension. Are you of the mindset that there could be a world in which he doesn't get that?
No, 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 no. That was me saying more so. It was actually connected to Brandon.
Okay.
That Trey does have a certain amount of money on the line. Trey's a little different because I think he's gotten the affirmation that he's needed from around the league and from around the conversation that he's had with the Pelicans to where from a dude who originally went to college at Rice and did not know, did not dream of being in this situation. Well, he may have dreamed of it, but you go play basketball at Rice, Dylan. The reality is you don't have that big of an opportunity of playing NBA professional basketball and making over $100 million.
There's only one.
Now,
There's only
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Maurice Allman. Do you remember that name? Utah
I do not.
Jazz. See,
I do
I
not.
remember.
See,
See,
now you stumped me, and I'm typically good at this.
I'm flexing. It's a
That's
flex.
fire. We gonna play some NBA trivia one day. I gotta get
Let's
my
do
get
it.
back. But yeah, with Trey, now it's another question. He's worth and will get over $100 million. So that ain't the thing. But at the end of the day, the money, the ink ain't dry. The ink ain't been, the contract ain't been signed yet. But he was a part of the team practices. He's been a part of some of the team functions. He's been in contact with the players. He's been in contact with the team. He's been showing up and been a part of trying to build with what they hoping to build in is a special season. That was more so of Brandon.
Okay.
You ain't the only one, and you didn't
Right.
got this dude looking for his first big deal.
Right.
You didn't got a couple already. Now,
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? If he could do it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Got to
Right.
be all in.
Okay. I was just because I was nervous because I'm of the mindset that Trey Murphy better be starting this year, or I'm not gonna feel I'm not gonna feel well. I'm not gonna feel well because there's a full quarter merchant in our starting five right now that is at a certain age and has gotten his money, as he always brings up, that could probably benefit from cooking the second unit. Moving forward, you talked about Carlo a little bit. Why should I not believe, and we still playing our little game right now, why should I not believe a guy that averaged 17, 8, 2 with 33% from three, 61% from the field, defensive player rating of 112? Why should I not believe that dude at 6'10 is not good enough to be in the starting lineup right now instead of Daniel Theus?
Where did he average that at?
The G League.
Mm, okay. You remember? Do you have Jackson Hayes' G League numbers ahead of you? Well, in front of you by chance?
Hey, brother, that's not the question, brother. That
Okay.
ain't the
Oh, I mean,
question.
I was just wondering if you had. All right, don't worry about it. So,
I don't
um,
happen to have that handy, sir.
well, you shouldn't believe that he should be the starting center because we have not seen him play against professional NBA players. We haven't seen teams put him on scout reports and attack his weaknesses. We haven't seen the best coaches and players in the world go at him over the length of an NBA season or even a 10 game or 5 game stretch. We haven't seen him be just a guy.
Yeah.
And when I say a guy, in the what are you, Carlo, when you're not allowed to take step back threes in summer league? What are you when you're not a focal point of what a G League team is doing? When the eyes aren't on you, what happens when you're the eighth man off the bench? What happens when you're on the floor with Zion, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, DeJounte Murray, and they don't even look to you to give you the basketball? What happens? Yes, you have a motor, but you know what happens, Dylan? If you're a big man, you have to do the little things. You have to box out. You have to screen. You have to grab rebounds.
Hold on. Let me give
Yep.
you a rebuttal right there.
Go ahead.
See, you can tell me that, but I'm playing Carla right now. Coach, I just showed you in summer league that I don't need the ball to be effective. You watch me in one section, one segment of the game, one set of plays of the game, steal the ball from a guard, give the ball to the point, make space, and then finish the points miss layup. I've
Right.
shown you that I have the
Mhm.
capability of doing that. My entire career overseas is based off of me doing the dirty work. I'm not the
Yep.
big dog shooter. I only have 1 year overseas where I shot 40% from three. The rest of
Yep.
it, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling.
Yep.
And I'm still, mind you, I've been playing pro since I was about 17 overseas.
Okay.
And this ain't your Jordan overseas I play in.
Yep.
This
Yep.
is the Luca overseas I play in. I'm
Yep.
playing against grown ups. So
Yeah.
Why don't tell me why do you still not believe that I can give you what you need in the starting five with Zion?
You ever you remember a player named Nicola Melli?
Yes.
Okay, overseas. He came over. Everybody was excited, and
We don't play the
nope.
same. We don't play the
We
same.
don't,
We don't play
we
the
don't play the
same.
same. Oh,
See,
okay, all
give
right.
me a different person. We don't play the same.
Okay, okay. So Carlo, you played overseas where your athletic gifts jumped off the screen. What happens when you're no longer the third best athlete on the floor? What happens when you're no longer the second best athlete on the floor? What happens when you're the 10th, when you're the ninth? What happens when you have to replace that with fundamentals, know-how, instincts, IQ, when you have to recalibrate on the fly? I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying I haven't seen it to have enough trust and belief in you. I've seen it in workouts. I've seen it against, hey, look, all praise to being able to do it in summer league. But guess what? Some of them people that you stole in basketball for and you was from and you was able to get down in the fast break and dunk the ball. Love the hustle, love the motor. Guess what, Carlo? Some of them dudes playing in Indonesia right now. That's just
Hey,
I
bro,
don't even
you
know if they got
forgot
it, but
that's Indonesia.
huh?
You forgot to say Indonesia.
You scouted you scouted Indonesia?
They hooping
You you want to go? You want
just for that.
to?
Just
You
for
want
that.
to? So
I'm
look,
sending this directly to Indonesia.
so I need to know a guy that struggled with fouls, right? A guy that struggles staying out of foul trouble, even in lower levels of basketball. We need to see those things because the Pelicans, you do offer something that they need. They need someone who can get up and down the floor. They need athleticism at that position. They need someone who can score without the basketball or without being a primary put back, so on and so forth. They need that. That's going to work well. But you know what they also need? They need someone that can set screens. They need someone that's going to be able to grab rebounds in these. Yeah, Carlo,
Hey
you're not a
man,
good screen setter yet, and
hey
they
man,
need someone who can stay out of foul trouble for a team that is extremely thin in that group.
you just paid your starting center last year averaged 8 rebounds.
Okay.
And last time I checked, you just brought in DeJounte Murray to be the brains. Is
Mm-hmm.
that not correct? So
Yep.
why can't we have a Luca Derek Lively situation over here with DeJounte and I play off each other? I give space in the dunker spot with Zion. Why can't I do that over here? Isn't the role of the isn't the NBA about people playing their roles and people being
Yep.
unapologetic about telling me my role?
Yep.
Why all of a sudden you want me to do something extra? What is
Well,
going on in New Orleans?
well, Carlo. Number one, you're not Derek Lively. Let's start there. You didn't have Tyson Chandler mentoring you, that helping you fit the role that you would play in the next league, right? Um,
I got
we
Greg
knew.
Monroe.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. It could help, Carlo. We don't know if what you do well 100% is going to be the things that make you incredible or serviceable in this league. We knew with Derek Lively, they weren't going to ask him to do anything different from what he did in college. We want you to set screens. We want you to dunk the basketball. We want you to catch lobs. We want you to block shots. We don't really need you to do much else. That's pretty much it. Do you know what they're going to ask Carlo to do at this level?
I'm
I don't
Carlo.
know
You
yet.
asking me? Well, I
Carlo,
don't
do
know.
I know? Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if you can do it yet until I see it. And look, Carlo, it's okay, bro. Like, look, at the end of the day, it may work. And I hope it works for you. But until I see it, I can't count on it. And I can't predict it. I can't live by it. You got to be able to understand that. But you got a motor. You done proved yourself before. Do it again.
I'm just gonna ask you one question because you making me feel all right about coming off the bench. But they told me that D is only playing 15 to 20 minutes. How many minutes you giving me off the bench? And are you bringing in Eves Massey before me, or am I next big off the bench? And how many minutes you giving me, man?
Well, Carlo, until I can see you in training camp, see you in practices, see how you do against NBA talent game, practice after practice, day after day. Until I can see you in the preseason and really start to get an idea of what my rotation is going to be like, I have a few guys ahead of you. I watched, you have improved to me. You're better than Jeremiah Robinson Earl. You have
You
been
just got
proven
rid of
to
Larry
me,
Nance, didn't you? He
yeah.
ain't like that. Which makes you think you're gonna like him better?
I don't know if you're Larry Nance.
Oh,
You don't know if you're Larry Nance. Larry Nance is on his what 11th year in the league. Carlo, you jump that you think you that serviceable? Can we get through 1 year yet, brother? Listen, I appreciate the enthusiasm. I appreciate the energy and the confidence, but look, you got some. Trey Jemison started some games last year for the Memphis Grizzlies. I ain't the
you
biggest fan of him. Can you play one NBA game? Can I see you in one game against NBA talent? Can I see that first? Till
all I
then,
all
you
I
ain't you not seeing the floor.
I'm not I'm not even on the floor.
No, not
So
yet.
who in front of me? What's the rotation in front of me, coach?
Well, right now it's gonna be Tice. Okay,
15 to 20, right?
roughly. Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. Next in the priority, like the areas of emphasis, we're leaning into our small ball lineups.
Okay.
That's what we said that we were going to do. So we're going to see some Zion minutes at the 5.
All
We're
right.
going to see some rotations that look like Trey Murphy may be out there at the 5. We're going to see Brandon Ingram at the 5. We're going to see Herb Jones at the 5. We are going to mess with our small ball lineups to find the right mixture. That's going to pretty much take up a good majority of that. And then, hey, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Trey Jemison, you guys want to offer us 5 to 7 minutes a game? And if someone proves that they're worth more than that to where we can lean away from some of these smaller lineups a little bit more, then we will. But until then, Carlo, you are sitting on the bench next to me. But hey, have a good training camp. Continue the positive momentum from the summer workouts and summer league and G League. Continue that momentum, and I'll change my tune in a month.
But
You'll
you
be
don't change
you'll
your
be the
team,
first big
coach.
off the
You
bench.
don't change your team. See, I'm just playing. That was dope. That was dope. That was dope, man. Listen, I'm a believer in Carlo. I believe that my personal opinion, I believe he could be that second big off the bench. Obviously, we're gonna lean into the Zion situation more than anything. But man, I you said Trey Murphy at the 3. My hot take is that's the I don't want to see Trey Murphy at the 3 unless
The 5.
5. I want to see him at the 3. I don't want to see Trey Murphy at the 5 unless it's dire straits. Everybody else is in foul trouble, and he's not a good defender, not a good rebounder, has
Mm,
low IQ around the rim.
mm.
I From a defense standpoint, and offensively around the rim, he's yam. But
So
defensively,
so
knowing the
wait,
schemes and go ahead.
you you don't believe in the Trey Murphy that ended last season?
From a center standpoint, guarding bigs,
No,
I'm
no,
not talking.
no, no, no. But see. Here's what this gets confusing and complicated. More complicated than it has to.
Okay,
Just because I close with you at the 5 doesn't mean you're guarding centers. You may be listed at the 5. It doesn't mean you're guarding a center.
who's guarding him?
Depends on the center.
I so okay. I'm gonna give you.
Depends on the
I'm
center
gonna
on the
give you.
opposing team.
Okay, let's just go right in our era. Zach Edey, who's guarding him?
Are they throwing the ball down to Zach Edey for 5 possessions in a row?
I mean,
Are they?
no, but you know what they are? No, they're not. But you know what they're gonna do?
Okay.
PNR you to death with John Morant and Zach Edey in the middle of the floor and put shooters in the
Let them do it.
corners.
Let them do it. If that's what they're choosing to do on a team that has Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson Jr., Marcus Smart and company, and whenever GG Jackson gets back, and you're telling me that I have to be afraid of a Zach Edey, John Morant pick and roll, that's my worry. Let them do it.
Were you afraid of it? Oh, this show, but I'm excited. I'm only gonna hold you for a little while longer because
Oh no,
I
no, no! I'm here now. I mean,
okay.
listen.
This.
If
I like
Zach
this.
Edey scores 30 points,
No,
we
no, no.
won.
It's
We're
not
doing
about
our
30
job.
points. It's not about 30 points. Were
I'm
you
listening.
afraid of Joakim Noah in the PNR with Derrick Rose?
Yeah, Edie ain't Joakim Noah.
Joakim Noah wasn't really even a scorer to like his 3rd year though.
Yeah, but Joakim Noah was 6'9" and had the motor of a Magic City worker. Are you serious?
But
Defensive player.
hold
Yeah.
on. Zach Edey is 7'4" with a
How
motor.
much he weigh?
The dude play. Hold on, he played 40 minutes a game in
Yep.
March Madness basketball, which is
Yep.
significantly more
Hmm.
physical and more
Hmm.
fundamentally focused. And this is seven
Yep.
four. Now, don't you bring up old boy that's in Minnesota that played for Iowa. This ain't that. Because I know what you're gonna say. You probably because I know you, like you said, you're a historian. You was probably gonna go that way. No, this ain't that. This dude was in the post going against double teams, triple teams,
Great.
and still giving
Great.
you 30 on a 40-minute clip, staying out of foul
Right.
trouble, guarding the
Right.
rim.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So look, right. You a Pelicans fan? Who was the starting center
Facts.
last year?
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah. Remember how teams would go small and we kept saying, throw the ball down to Jonas. What are we doing? Right, Jonas, you look up, Jonas had 10 and 10 in the first quarter, first
Yeah.
15 minutes. It looked dominant, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma City game in the playoffs, game 2. They threw the ball down to Jonas for 7 straight possessions. 7 straight possessions. And he went crazy, went
Cooked.
nuts. Guess what? OKC went down and made threes. They took advantage of him and dropped every time. It
Hold
did
on. You're
not
not gonna get me
matter.
with this one. You're not gonna get me
I'm
with this. You
listening.
wanna know why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Jonas is known as the black hole. You do that to Zach Edey, he's gonna slice you up with assists on back. Cause see, you ain't you because you
Okay. Okay, no. Okay,
he's not gonna catch the ball and be like, oh, my job is to score. He's gonna catch the
great,
ball, see where the help is coming from, watch you, tell that dude, cut back door, or he ain't probably gonna do that. He's a rookie, but he's gonna see where the help is coming from, kick out. If you
great,
don't help, I'm seven
great,
four. I'm not saying
great,
Jonas is, I mean, Zach Edey is gonna dominate the world. I'm just trying to figure out who's gonna guard him against a motivated John Morant and a
great.
high IQ coach
Okay,
that
great.
wants to win and needs to win this year, by the way.
Who's guarding him? Okay. Who's he guarding?
Is
Who's
Zion on the
he
floor?
guarding?
Zion on
Yeah,
the floor.
yeah. He guards Zion. What happens? What happens when we take our small ball lineup and we go 5 out? What
Oh,
happens when we get you
okay.
in
Okay,
transition?
please. You got Zion in the game going 5 out? Is
What
Zion on the
happens?
ball? Is Zion on the ball? Is
Zion,
DeJounte in the game with Zion? And you're
yeah.
going 5 out.
What happens when we put Edie when we put Edie in a screening role?
I'm drop coverage all day, baby. I'm
Okay,
drop coverage all
okay,
day.
yeah,
Why am I
okay. So
you got me debate like
yeah,
fighting
yeah.
for the
You
Grizz. This is diabolical.
You go and drop. You okay? So you go and drop, and I got
Yeah.
and I got the Jonte, and I'm gonna let the Jonte get to his favorite spot on the floor.
What? Yeah, 100%. You better hit it. You better
Okay.
hit it. Pause. You better hit it.
But I'm saying eventually that's going to get tired.
I
And not
agree.
only is it going to get tired, you know what else is gonna get tired? They ain't
What?
gonna make every shot, Dylan. And
I agree.
eventually you got to deal with me in transition. And if you want to deal with my small ball lineup in transition in this league, okay, let's play.
So what do you do? Okay, moving on. Because we in the trenches, baby. Like
Yeah.
we are in. What are we doing with Vic? Who guarding Vic? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. That's about it, huh?
Victor Wembanyama. Who guarded him? Who guarded him? Who guarded him last year?
Nobody. That's that. Good question. Who
Who
guarding
guarded him
him?
last year?
You tell me.
Look. He getting 30 regardless. But I know what I am gonna do, and I
What
know
you
what I
gonna
have a
do?
better chance doing against him than I do against Zach Edey.
Talk
Victor
to me.
likes to work out farther away from the basket, so he's not gonna bully. I'm a put Herb Jones there. If he wants to operate 20 feet away from the rim, if he wants to operate like a guard, let him do it. Victor, you can shoot as many threes as you want to. I know that's what you want to do. You thank you, KD. Go ahead, stay in the perimeter. Because your superpower, Victor, is getting my team in foul trouble and playing a little bit closer to the rim. That's your superpower. But see, you won't do it. I don't care if you got Chris Paul or not. You won't do it. So that's fine. You're going to get yours 100%. He's generational. Generational. I don't care who guards him, to be honest, because why does it matter?
That's right. He's gonna get his 30.
I'm
He's
a
gonna get his
W
30.
anyway at some point.
100%. I'll give you that one. 100%. Eric Lively, we're not gonna bring that one up. All right, you sold me again, brother. You got that one. I'm of the mindset that if I got a Victor, I don't want Zion in foul trouble guarding a Victor. I don't want Zion in foul because he's the best superstar. His whistle has to be the worst in the league. Like it
Yeah.
has to be the worst in the league. Like it's diabolical. It's diabolical, his whistle. And I don't want to put him in those positions where his said whistle is going to be up to play with Victor. Now, I think Zach's going to have a rookie whistle, but still, I don't know. We can move forward. I'm going to let that slide. So
Yep.
now this is the last part of the show where I like to give people the opportunity to tell me their hot take. Like, what's the hot take first? How is the season going to end? 55 wins, you already said. Are we first, second? Where are we getting? Are we going all the way to the finals? What are we doing? And what happens with Zion by the end of this year? Is he an MVP, first team All NBA? And you cannot say injuries willing.
Yep.
So it's a one screen situation. I'm putting you up solo on you to give me your hot take. How's the season ending? And what's happening with Z?
Okay. What's good, y'all? So we almost back in space here. All right. So my hot take for the year is that uh where do I want to go with this? My hot take of the year is that Herb Jones will not shoot 40% from three again. In fact, he won't shoot 38% from three this year and will have his best year in the NBA. His best year as a New Orleans Pelican will happen this year, and his shooting numbers will drop from about 42 to somewhere around 37%. That's my hot take. All right. Um, I told you that I think they win in a, I think that they can win 55 games. You could say 50, 52, 53, somewhere in that area. This team is built for regular season success. So they will win 50 some odd games. And I think they will they will take that into making the what they should have done already, and they will make the appropriate decisions or additions to their front court and be ready for a playoff series. Um Certain kind of playoff series. Because look, you gonna be able to beat Minnesota. I don't want to see Minnesota in a 7-game series as my front court is currently set. Just don't want to do it. They'll do that and they'll win a first round series as well. What happens after that, I can't tell you. Zion. Zion will Zion's going to play, I'm going to say 65 games. He's going to make an all NBA team. This will be the year he makes an all NBA team. This will be the best season from start to finish, the most consistent season you've ever seen out of Zion Williamson. Will he be in play? Will he be an MVP conversation? Maybe, but not enough for him to finish, I think, in the top two or top three. Too many cooks in the kitchen, too many offensive players on this team. I don't think the staff is set, and I don't think he's set to say, this is my team. I'm the number one option. It's going to start and end with me. I don't think that's going to be it, but he's still going to have a really good year. But he will make an all NBA team. I think he was close to making it last year as well. He'll make one. I think the Pelicans are finishing about third in the West. And Zion will finally play a playoff game. Imagine that.
Boy, 65 games. You better not say that out loud. Griff gonna send them people for you. Griff gonna send them people for you. Chris, my thank you so much for jumping on this episode of This Sis with me, man. For y'all that don't know, me and Chris have a unique Genesis story, for lack of better verbiage. I jumped into Spaces that Chris was hosting. By the way, we all know he's the Beyonce of the Spaces situation. He don't even need to promote it. He just say Spaces in 10 minutes and 1,000 showing up. But anyway, he blessed me by letting me come on stage, and I commenced out of emotion to say Nikhil Alexander's Walker's bag was the equivalent of Frank Jackson, and he instantly threw me off the stage. So to go from that to now having you on this show, brother, thank you so much. It's been a privilege and an honor to chat with you, chat Pels basketball, and you got to circle the block, brother. We got to have you back on
Yeah,
periodically throughout the season, man.
for sure, man. Like, look, bro, I love that. I told you already, I love what you're doing. I love the concept of what you're doing. I love anything anything organic. I sound like David Griffin, but that's not the goal. I love anything that's organic. The way that you're building this show with the kind of building an argument for something, whether or not it's your belief. I think that's brilliant. Enough, more people need to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's forcing you. It's a level of creativity that we need more of, man. There's too many people trying to do the same things, hating on each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about support, bro. And that's why I'm here. I remember when you first would join the space and we would have a conversation. And I knew early. It only take me about 5 minutes to listen to somebody to know how much basketball they know. I knew, even if I didn't agree and I thought what you were saying was crazy, I knew that you knew basketball. And now to see your personality grow, now to see you getting the confidence to put out these shows and putting out the content and building your platform, bro, that's what it's about. And that's people I will always support if they from the region, or even if they not. I'm biased to people that's from New Orleans or Louisiana. That's just how I am. But if you're not from there, you doing something dope, and you know what I mean, you yourself trying to pass along, help the next person. That's what it's about. So I mean, I love what you're doing, bro. And I come here on your show in your graces to tell you, man, don't stop what you're doing, bro. Keep the consistency going. Keep building this shit, man. Break it down. Build up another one. Like, keep doing, because you got something. You got something, and that's what it's
That's what
about,
up,
man.
brother. About to make
All
a
right.
good gangster crime, man. Much love to
Yeah,
you, bro. Appreciate you, big dog.
for sure.
That's it for this episode of The Assist, man. You saw real, authentic respect and honor, and you got good quality content around the Pelicans. Make sure you tune in for the next episode. We going live from the three. I'm just kidding. We the 225 till I die. You dig, Theodore? I'm sorry I didn't say anything to you the whole episode, brother. We good? We good? All right, I'm gonna see y'all later. Be blessed.